welcome to everybody who is joining us. We are here for a lunch and learn about RiverWoods Manchester. My name is Katie Hendrickson. I'm joined by Jennifer Torgersen. Sorry. We are both the sales counselors here. And then we're also joined by one of our residents, Julie. And, we are just going to talk about the community, a little bit of housekeeping. Everybody is on mute, so we won't be able to hear you if you have any questions spoken out loud. So please feel free to type them into the Q&A box at any time during this presentation. We'll be going over them at the end. So if anything pops up that you want more clarification on or just wanted to know more about, feel free to type that in there. We also encourage people to type in where they're from, just so that we can see who's joining us from the farthest distance, as I like to say, for bragging rights. And
it looks like we've got people from Vermont, Washington, D.C., South Carolina, Boston, and Nashua, as well as Pennsylvania. It's quite a mix today.
Ooh, I wonder where in Pennsylvania. So I live in Nashua, and my mother's side is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So.
And Ruth, welcome, Ruth. We know Ruth. That's great. Glad you can join us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. We start out with this stunning photo of our community and the surrounding areas. I think the location of RiverWoods Manchester is really quite neat because it's sort of a best of both worlds opportunity. We are in New Hampshire, so in your immediate vicinity, we have this beautiful nature around us, very rural, very quiet. We have a 640-acre nature preserve right next to us, but at the same time, we are in the Manchester city limits. So you have everything that a city has to offer, theater, restaurants, outings, etc., just a few minutes away. So it really is sort of a best of both worlds. A little history about the RiverWoods communities. There are three: RiverWoods Exeter, Manchester, and Durham. Exeter was the very first community to come online. It started literally by two women sitting at a breakfast table. They wanted to live their lives as they were day to day, traveling, exercising, going about, exploring the world. At the same time, they wanted to know that they had care available to them if they ever needed it. So they founded RiverWoods Exeter, the Woods campus, in 1994. Eventually, it expanded for the Ridge and the Boulders campus. And then RiverWoods Manchester came online. The history of this building goes back a little farther. It started out as a women's aid and relief society, and then was just a nursing home, and then became a full continuing care retirement community over the years. So it had a few names. Most recently was Birch Hill, and RiverWoods affiliated with Birch Hill roughly 6 years ago, kept the Birch Hill name, and then just over a year ago made the switch to RiverWoods Manchester. And then finally, RiverWoods Durham is our newest community. It's roughly 3 to 4 years old. Both Manchester and Durham are one campus, if you will, versus Exeter's 3. And then we always leave our very, very technical, very hard to interpret SPE/STE, which is someplace else or something else. So we always look at the future of RiverWoods. There's no plans at the moment to have another community, but we always leave that on our horizon just so that we can help serve a greater number of people. So I talked a little bit about where RiverWoods Manchester is located. This gives you a more concrete idea from an overhead map, but clearly you can tell just visually that we're surrounded by a lot of nature in our immediate distance. And yet we are a couple minutes from downtown Manchester. Manchester is a very cool location. It's 20 minutes to Concord, it's 30 minutes to Nashua. 45 minutes to the coast, an hour to Boston. You've got all of these major cities within distance. We do have the Manchester airport as well. So if you love to travel, it's just a couple minutes away. It's pretty nice. Here is an initial look at the outside of our main entrance of the community. We actually just are finishing up all new siding and a whole new roof. So this is its brand new appearance. It really is quite lovely. I love the architecture of our building. It's not cookie cutter. There's all these different roof lines, opportunities for windows and sitting spaces, and the hallways bend and they turn. It's very interesting. So if you want to see it in person, I definitely recommend coming for a tour to get a firsthand look at it. You can feel free to, after this webinar is over, to contact myself, contact Jen, or someone from the marketing team, and we can set something up. We can do it virtually as well. So if you're out of state in the Carolinas, you're still welcome to come tour. So here is an even closer overhead of the RiverWoods Manchester community. So looking overhead, it kind of looks like spokes on a wheel or a spider, for lack of a better comparison. You do have the heart of the community and then wings that branch out in every direction. We do see a rendering attached to our main building. We want to note that we have 4 cottages at the moment, but we are going to be building 18 more starting this spring. So if that's something that's of interest to you as well, feel free to give us a call. We can explain in more detail about those new cottages coming to Manchester. So that's what you see in the red and blue to the side of the main community building. So I talked about how Manchester is a very neat location. There's quite a lot that's in our area that you have access to, whether it's the Courier Museum. We have a resident that is a docent there. It's beautiful. They have a big attachment to Frank Lloyd Wright because there's a house in Manchester built by him. So they have a nice section dedicated to Frank Lloyd Wright. But there's also the Palace Theater and the Rex. Earlier in the year, we held a little event and we went to the opening of Bye Bye Birdie, which was phenomenally done. So that's always available. There's tons of parks and places to walk and hike. There's a ski area not that far away. There's a huge variety. So definitely come to Manchester and explore what is available. I love this photo. So this is taken of 2 of our residents in the Cedar Swamp Nature Preserve. This is right next to our community. It's 640 acres. There are quite a few walking paths within the nature preserve. We have one resident that is in that nature preserve daily, if not multiple times a day. And he actually has a couple of cameras in the nature preserve and sends out a little email blurb to about 100 people, just writing about what was seen on the cameras, why it's important, and just a little, history lesson as well as nature lesson. It's quite nice. There's also a brand new trail as of this past year, that was built called the All Persons Trail. This is super accessible, extra wide trails covered in a fine gravel as opposed to being rooted. Beautiful wooden benches. There's a giant rhododendron bush there that blooms only for a short period of time. That's beautiful. So it really is quite nice to have this within walking distance from our community. It's not something that you get available to you everywhere. So it really is quite special. So RiverWoods Manchester has a history here, over 100 years. It is a not-for-profit, so our community does make a profit, but it goes back to the community. We're the only continuing care retirement community in Manchester. We have 134 independent living apartments and 4 cottages at the moment, but again, we will be building 18 more come spring. Because it's a continuing care, it means that we have independent living, assisted living, memory support, and nursing support all under one roof. So we are able to help out in whatever capacity. And, you know, you're guaranteed that care for your lifetime. So again, we affiliated roughly 6 years ago, and we have 3 different RiverWoods communities. So there is a beauty into having more than one RiverWoods community. There's strength in numbers, and we also have what's called the RiverWoods Group, which oversees each of the communities. They're separate entities, but the group serves as sort of a safety net for each. So RiverWoods Manchester is a type B contract, which means that you're only paying for stuff that you're actively using. So there is an entrance fee and a monthly fee, but it's lower than what you would see in what's called a type A contract. The pricing for the monthly fee does go up for each level of care, but it's a discounted off of market rate. So benefits to that are if you stay in independent living for many years, if not your whole life, you're only paying independent living pricing. And if you do encounter healthcare, it's a discounted rate. So really flexible, really kind of the best opportunity for most people. And what CCRCs are trending into, type B contract is becoming more and more popular as each year goes on. We advertise this as not a retirement community, but actually an insurance product. And the reasoning being is, you know, you're being proactive about your future. You know, we can't predict what's going to happen to us in our lifetime, but the need for healthcare is statistically likely. So what better way than getting ahead of that and saying, I know what my care is going to look like. I know where it's going to come from. I know who's going to be providing that care. And I know the standard of that care. So it's not a purchase. It's not real estate. There's no real estate tax. It really is an insurance product. Partial opportunities for tax deductions are available to you. So I talked about how there's an entrance fee and a monthly fee. The non-refundable portion of the entrance fee is tax deductible the year that you pay it. And then a part of your monthly fee every year is also tax deductible. So there's a little letter that comes out from finance letting each resident know what they should deduct on their taxes each year. But it's really quite a nice additional benefit to joining RiverWoods Manchester. We always like to say it's a gift to your children if you have them. You know, it's an entrance fee that can be refunded to your estate or your beneficiaries if you were to move out of the community or pass away. So it's a great financial asset preservation for your kids if you'd like that money to go there. It's also taking away the burden from your kids in terms of looking out for mom and dad. So you're in control of that and you're doing that ahead of time so that your kids don't have to worry. And we always say it's smart financial. Financial advisors commonly work with different residents, and financial advisors love CCRCs just because they are such a smart investment. It really is recommended by a lot of financial planners. So our contract type, our entrance fee is 70% refundable, which means that, you know, If you were to move out or pass away, 70% goes to your beneficiaries or estate, but it's also flexible. So you actually have the opportunity to use that refundable portion in your lifetime. It's a choice. You don't have to do that, but it's absolutely up to you. The way that you use it is on the difference in pricing for healthcare. So if your assisted living cost goes up, whatever that amount it went up, you can take out from your refundable portion and apply it to your monthly fee. So a little bit of basics about the community.
Yes.
We want you to move in when you are independent.
Oh, okay.
We want
Right.
you to experience everything that the community has to offer. We want you to travel. We want you to buy those $7 Starbucks coffees. So we want you to, experience life as you are now. Our minimum age to move in is 62. And, there's no cap. We've gotten that question before. We actually have a 104-year-old in independent living currently. So it's quite a range. Again, we have all the levels of care, so it's a smooth transition if you ever needed it. There's a care team. We have, a director of health services, assistant director, nurse practitioner, social worker. They're all part of the care team, our executive director, your primary care physician, et cetera, et cetera. One benefit of moving into this community is every resident gets up to 30 days per calendar year of what's called respite. So an example is if you got a knee replacement surgery and needed that additional care while you're recovering and getting stronger, you can spend 30 days in our healthcare included. And then use it again if 2 years later you got another knee replaced, if you wanted to. It's a great benefit, and it allows you to have this extra support for things that may happen in your life. And I talked about how the monthly fee is discounted off of market rate. So there is $1,000 discount on assisted living monthly fees, $1,500 for memory support, and $2,000 off of nursing support, and that is for your lifetime. So that says it directly in our contract, and we will honor that for your lifetime.
And Katie, that's a per person discount.
Correct.
For couples, both of you would qualify for that discount.
Correct. Thank you. I love these photos. So I also love what's written on this page, as everyone can see. So RiverWoods Manchester is a neighborhood full of people passionate about what they do every day. And that's really quite true. I personally have been blown away by the welcome and the kindness and just the overall culture within our community. It's so friendly. It's hard to actually put onto screen, really how friendly it is here. So we always say, come see it in person. It's commented on so much when people come view the community. Everybody is friendly, and yet it fits introverts and extroverts alike. People are always saying, hi, how are you? One resident put it nicely, you will not like it here if you expect to go from point A to point B without someone saying, hi, how are you? How's your Aunt Susie in Norway? It's quite nice. So these are two more beautiful photos. So I talked about the outdoor options within our community and sort of nearby. But we have Carl running on one of the nearby parks. And then we've got Vivian and her pet bingo to note that we are a pet friendly community. So we welcome dogs, cats. We have one resident that has what's called a blue tongue skink, which is quite nice, named after a Lord of the Rings character, which I appreciate. So, you know, we welcome pets. We have a pet policy. Really, it's just we want pets to be amenable to community living. And we just need to know who the veterinarian is, who would take care of the pet in an emergency, things like that. There we go. So 2 more beautiful pictures. We've got 2 of our residents kayaking. One thing I recommend to everybody is getting an information packet to start. This gives a great intro into our services and amenities, more about our floor plans and pricing. We're going to take a look at some of that today, but not everything. So if you haven't already gotten an information packet, I definitely encourage it. So now I'm going to hand it off to Jen, and she's going to talk a bit about the interiors of RiverWoods Manchester and what we have to offer.
Thanks, Katie. So I've been here since about 2016, and we have, in those years, we have undergone a $25 million renovation of the old Birch Hill into the new RiverWoods Manchester. And that has involved gutting any of the apartments that have opened during that time and renovating them. So we've put in new kitchens, full-size appliances, new cabinets, countertops, flooring, lighting, everything and anything. And then the main part of the building, all the common areas have been updated. We put an addition on the building with an incredible activities room, fitness center. We'll see some of that in a moment. But all of these apartments that have turned over have these wonderful new options in them. We opened up the kitchens for a more modern concept kind of kitchen with a breakfast bar. That used to be the old pass-through kitchens, and they're not any longer. So they're very bright and fresh, and people are very pleased with the kitchens. And then, of course, we have smaller 1-bedroom apartments all the way up to the largest Poplar, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, which is like 1,424 square feet. So there's quite a lot of options. Some apartments have a balcony or a patio, and if they do, there's an extra $50 monthly charge on those apartments. You will find, and we'll show some pictures of some of the common areas. We also have common area balconies open to everyone, and patios and sunrooms that are just wonderful spaces, extra spaces that people really can't afford to build anymore in new communities. We have a lot of those really neat spots around the building to get lost with read a book. So it's just a very comfortable layout here. Katie, maybe switch to the next shot. This is a cedar, which is a 1-bedroom bath and a half. It's just under 800 square feet. We have several couples in the cedar. It's quite nice. When you walk in the front door, there's a whole wall of windows because it's sort of the living room, dining room side by side. And it's just third up from the smallest. So it's not a huge apartment, but very comfortable and a really nice, bright layout. And we have one of the cedars opening too. And this is the floor plan for the cedar. So you can see there's a half bath in the entryway. The master bedroom suite, you can shut the door. You have your own bathroom, your own closet, laundry, stackable washer dryers have been added to the apartments, and then the large bedrooms. And Katie, you have a virtual tour to show us for the cedar, right? We're going to play that now.
Yeah, so I'm going to blow this over our screen.
This is one of our hallways, independent living hallways, and RiverWoods actually added those more formal entrances, the colored entrance, because the building was built by 2 hospitals way back. And so it was kind of an institutional feel. So we really enhanced the entrances to the apartments. So this would be if you're standing in the front hall of the cedar floor plan. On the right, there's a nice small half bath, basically. Here we're looking at the apartment door that goes out into the hallway. And then to your right, you'll see there is a coat closet right there, super convenient. We have a couple different views here. There's a kitchen, one of our newer granites, so really pretty speckly granite and stainless steel appliances. Some of the cabinets are white, some are toffee colored. There's a few in the building that are a dark cherry. And most of the apartments are neutral color options. The selections, if someone is moving in and selects from what we offer for paint colors, if it needs painting, they're pretty neutral. They go with just about everything. We do include blinds on the windows. And this was a quick model set up recently, but you can see there's a nice area, nice living space. Some people bring a dining table, some do not. You have a beautiful dining room with meals available, and a lot of people utilize that, but certainly some people cook as well and bake and things like that, or might get meals to go on occasion. So the spaces are really a little creativity goes a long way, I would say, because you can really fill them full of a lot of furniture, and yet there's plenty of space still. So this is the bedroom. The closet has a stackable washer dryer. There are pull cords, emergency pull cords in the bathrooms. And we have put in walk-in showers in the bathrooms. We used to have the tub showers when I first got here. And at that point, we had pink countertops. It was quite interesting. So all of that's been pulled out, and we have the new vanity, new mirror, everything new, walk-in shower, good grab bars, handheld shower. There's an additional option for a bench for the shower that mounts to the back wall that you could pay for if you wanted to. You can see the emergency cord there. And of course, you get 2 pendant alarms too for a couple, 1 pendant alarm for an individual. But they're large bathrooms and quite comfortable. And ADA compliant also.
And this is actually the half bathroom we're seeing.
Right. Yeah, the half bath doesn't have the shower, of course, but it's a nice size vanity. Super helpful if you have family or friends coming to visit all the time. That's the coat closet there. So these are just some of the still shots toward the end. There are some community laundry rooms around the building as well. People who have lived here since before the renovation process didn't have laundry in their apartments. They used a laundry room on a wing. So we still have some of those, and anyone can certainly use those as well. So this is a poplar, actually. This is, we're showing toffee colored cabinets in the kitchen and stainless steel appliances. The breakfast bar is a white quartz countertop. This is a 38-foot living room, which is pretty impressive. And a double balcony is quite large. And it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and a den. It's a wonderful size apartment. And some have couples in them. We don't have many, but one has a couple, one has a single person, and they're all equally happy. As far as the common areas are concerned, it's a large building. It doesn't feel that large when you're here. We're built into the hillside, so part of second floor is actually ground level. And sometimes it's hard to visualize until you're actually here walking the campus inside and out. But here on the right is our second floor living room area. It's a wonderful place to play cards, bridge, game night on a Saturday night. There's a knitting group. You see there's a fireplace there. It's 2-sided fireplace, which is lovely. We have a light continental breakfast we serve every morning in this area. And they put out homemade cookies in the afternoon. So it's just
well thought over.
Yeah, right. It's a fun spot, social if you want to socialize. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. But coming down for free fruit and pastry in the morning and coffee and tea is a treat. But you also have all these other areas throughout the community. So we have the resident run library, dining room terrace off the dining room outside, which they're rebuilding, which is going to be beautiful. Private dining room for special family parties and things. Of course, a mail room, and you can mail packages at the front desk and letters. Tavern, we're the only community that has our own tavern. That's very cool. This is the living room. The MPR or BHR now is the activities room. It's attached to our fitness room and our art gallery wall. So that's a really neat spot as well. That's all part of the addition RiverWoods put on just a couple of years ago. Wood shop. Some of our residents are doing woodworking, making things either for sale in a craft fair or donating and using some of the wood from around the campus to build those things. country store, secondhand boutique called Terrace Treasures, which is fun. Residents man those. Sunrooms, balconies, patios, reading nooks, sitting areas, a salon for hair and nails, and then wide hallways with just a nice amount of space. You don't feel like you've got people everywhere. It's never feeling like you're overcrowded. And Julie, you can probably speak to that.
Oh, Julie, I think that you have yourself on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There we
How's
go.
that? Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would say that you can always find a place to either be with other people or just to share some quiet time. And then there's always the outside walking, great sidewalks for walking. So yes, wonderful space all over the place.
The third floor, if you walk the entire third floor once, it's half a mile. So don't think you're locked inside in wintertime with nothing to do, all these other things to do, but you can also really get a good walk in by doing the stairways, the third floor, any floor. There's a lot of places to go, and it's really a great space. So this is our fitness room. Julie, do you take fitness classes?
I have taken the yoga classes and I'm very happy with those. I have yet to venture to using the equipment because I'm still relatively new here. So
yeah, Julie just moved in a little while ago. She's one of our youngest residents we were just talking about. We have people, like Katie said, from 62 up to 104 in independent living. So it's a wonderful neighborhood and a great mix. But we do see younger people coming in all the time. Fitness, individual classes, group classes, opportunities. The fitness room is open 24/7. Some people are in there at night, some early morning. Staff might go in. I've used the rowing machines and the new step in there. Also, Manchester VNA provides in-house outpatient physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy in the building, but they can also use the fitness room equipment. There's a stretch table with balls and bands and weights, and you might see someone getting PT in there, and that's a wonderful resource for people. So nice space, quiet, but nice and bright. In the center on the top, there's a multifunctional trainer. There's all sorts of ways you can use that. The arms go up, down, in, out. You can have seated exercises or standing exercises. And it's just really a lot that you can do in here. Bicycles, rowers, treadmills, everything.
And it's open 24/7. So if you can't sleep at 3 a.m. and feel like
Yes.
working out, by all means, you're welcome to
Go for
the fitness center.
And not everybody does the yoga on the floor like is shown here. Some people do chair yoga, I mean, it's a nice mix. There's a little bit, it's what you feel you can do. So nobody feels pressured, certainly. On the left is our art gallery area. We have resident shows. Typically, it's for a month or two at a time. And we've had family members show. We've had the art classes show, a whole collection of artwork from the students in the class, which are our residents. There's photography and needlepoint and quilting. And we have an illustrator here who's also a docent at the Courier. And she had a great collection of paintings on the Northern Lights. But she's got a lot of black and white prints that are up right now. We had a 5-generation needlepoint show, 5 generations of needlepoint, which is so neat. It's absolutely beautiful. And even the husband did one. The wood shop, like we said, there's all sorts of things people can play with in there and make, and they just have, it's a joy for them to be able to go in and do that. And some have donated tools and things over the years. So it's a nice setup for people.
And there are committees for each of these areas too. So
Yeah.
if you're more of a join a committee person, you absolutely can do that within here. There's multiples, speaking of the wood shop, if you have tools that you're curious the wood shop needs, person we would recommend you speaking to is the committee head for the wood shop. And they can talk to you about it. So there's a lot of opportunities, not just to do things, but also to be involved in.
Absolutely. Yep. On the left here is one of our newly refinished or renovated balconies. There's about 8 of them, 6 or 8 of them around the building, patios and balconies. And they've just got new railings, new columns, new flooring, new ceiling, new everything, siding, ceiling. And as the entire building has, like I said, it's been a $25 million renovation. But the cool thing is that on the A, B, and C wings on every floor, there's one of these open that you can just go use with your family, your friends, by yourself. This one is actually on 3rd floor and it's built into the hillside. So there's 2 steps out to the grass. So, you know, that just doesn't happen every day. And it's the only balcony that has steps out to the grass, I will say, but it's lovely. And if, you know, easy access if you have a dog or something. And on the right is one of the sunrooms. So this one's on the 4th floor, right near Julie. And it's looking out over the back of the campus. There's a beautiful garden out there and a wildflower garden on the hillside. But they're just nice, comfortable places to relax and enjoy a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, a book. Bring your family in, you know, they're sort of add to your living space. They're your living rooms, but outside your apartment. And, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I couldn't live in a small apartment. But when you see all these additional spaces, the entire building becomes your home after you move in. It's a lifestyle change. So you're not in your home as much as you are right now. And you move in and all of this is open to you and very quickly starts feeling homey. Julie, maybe you can talk about that a little bit, all these additional spaces.
Yes, the sunroom especially is, at least on my floor, is known as the puzzle room. And all the people on the floor, they come in and I'd say probably I'm the lead on that, but everybody's welcome to work on the puzzle. And it's kind of a fun thing. This weekend, we're going to be celebrating somebody's anniversary of moving in here. So we're going to have sort of a floor celebration, bring your own beverage. So that'll be really fun. And the other thing is, if you're a sun person like I am, sometimes if you have an apartment on a certain type of certain orientation in the building, you may or may not get sun. So this is kind of a fun place to go just to get a change of scenery. Right. Like Jen said, maybe meet with some people, maybe you're in there by yourself. It's good. It's really nice.
One of them has musical instruments, one has some art supplies, you know, there's a bunch of different ones, but they're all facing different directions. So if you like afternoon sun and you don't have it at that time, you could just go find a spot that does. And also at the end of some of the wings are wonderful little sitting areas. Most I would say get east or west. Some are a little northeast, northwest. So most get some sun depending on the time of year. But there's always a place to go if you don't have it right then.
Yeah, we also have a balcony and sunroom that overlooks our birch grove that we actually have on our community grounds.
Beautiful.
And I don't know about you guys, but the birch trees are beautiful any season of the year. Currently, they're covered in some beautiful lights. So as the sun sets, the lights come on.
White lights.
It's really nice.
Yeah, but sitting in one of the sunrooms and it's just white trees right in front of you is absolutely beautiful.
Right.
This is our resident run library. There's a library committee. This is Art and Pat, and Pat is the head of the library committee. They have worked in libraries for probably 40 years or something like that, and she's in charge now. There's other resident librarians, lifelong librarians that are working in there as well. For free as volunteers and loving it. They love this library. It's small but special, and there's new releases, older selections, large print selections, and we're connected to the Manchester Library and the New Hampshire system, so you can order books. Our drivers will pick up and drop off every week if people have orders, and the staff will let you know if your book is in or needs returning. So it's a great system and really convenient for the residents. So what's included in the monthly fees? You have housekeeping every 2 weeks. It's it's a good basic cleaning, 45 minutes to an hour, and they vacuum, dust, mop, clean the bathroom, clean the kitchen. And then annually they do a deep cleaning where 3 or 4 people come in, move your furniture, clean under it, do really what needs cleaning that isn't done throughout the year. And then we have a company coming around that does windows as well. So that's included a dining points program, which is 18 points per person per day. So 18 points is the equivalent to what we call a bundled meal, but it's a large meal. And you can break it down and use, you can use 8 points at one seating and 10 at another if you want, or 3 and 4. It's a flexible program, and you basically start the month out with 548 points, I think it is, and you spend them down as you go. You don't have to track it. The staff track it as you order, and you can carry over up to a month's worth of unused points every month, and you can now use them for guests. So it's really flexible. You can skip a few days. But there's also a couple of other dining plans. If you love to cook and you don't want to have the dining or full dining plan, you would get a monthly credit for some of those alternative dining plans. Free Light Continental Breakfast, which is separate from the dining point system. So you can really fit a lot of food that we offer into your daily routine here without having to buy a lot of groceries and do much yourself, which is nice. The dining room also sells some grocery items at cost. So like a quart of milk or juice or Lactaid, or you can get some bread, you can get a quarter pound of chicken salad or a quarter pound of ham, things like that. You also, of course, can get your other meals to go, and they have all sorts of alternative menu items. What they do is on Friday nights, they send out the week's menu for the following week. And there's usually 3 selections a day for entrees. 1 is vegetarian. And there's burgers and omelets and flatbread pizzas and what else? Tons of sandwiches and things. And so there's a lot to choose from, but you basically know what's coming. So it kind of helps you guide your meal plan throughout the week.
And we do have always available options, which Jen just listed. So if you don't like what's on the menu for the day, we do have this set, always available list of, I think it's like 6 or 7 choices. We can also do gluten-free meals as well. We always keep a stock of gluten-free foods on hand, but we make sure we have enough for the number of residents that need them. So if a person moves in and they have a gluten-free diet, we make sure that the food adjusts accordingly as well.
They can meet with the dining director when they move in, actually, which is a nice feature. Educational, social, physical, cultural, volunteer activities, all sorts of things going on here. It's up to you, the level at which you wish to participate. But there's really something for everyone. And RiverWoods is known as being resident driven. And so what that means is we're not just handing you an activities calendar. We're asking you, what do you want to do here? Let's help you put it in place. So you might have people that were, speakers or something, and they might give a presentation here, or people offering art classes or something like that. So more and more of that is being added all the time. And there's a group that is meeting with all the residents to find out what their specialties are and what their background is and their talents. So you're welcome to share when you move in. Also included in that monthly fee is the 30 free days for a short-term medical stay annually. So we have 2 rooms set aside just for independent residents at the lodge right down the hall. At all times, just for the independent residents if they have a short-term medical need. So you can go get some free care and come back. Pre-schedule.
Sorry, I was saying, and that we can adjust accordingly too. So, when COVID happened, a lot of elective surgeries, for example, were put on hold.
Right.
And so when it started to die down, we had an influx of people that were needing to make use of that respite stay. And we were able to accommodate everyone. So, we have the 2 respite rooms, but we can flex that so that we're able to still give the care that's needed as well.
Yeah, we've been able to juggle in the past, and it's worked out really well for the residents. Pre-scheduled transportation, they go to medical and dental appointments in the Manchester area. They go on outings, museums, concerts, restaurants, trips to Boston or Portland or Portsmouth, and then shopping, grocery shopping certainly every week, but maybe Kohl's or the Manchester Mall or lots of different stores over time based on what the residents are wanting to do. I think the last year or two, we haven't gotten to our full capacity for activities and outings because we're being super cautious, but it's all there, and more is being added all the time, which is really neat. 24-hour staffing. So there's somebody in the building around the clock doing rounds and available for emergency response, or if someone has a concern, maintenance, if there's a leaky sink or something like that. Of course, our reception desk is phenomenal. They're like a concierge / management team, and they can handle anything. So any work orders would go through them, special requests. We have everyone here gets a storage cage, and we have a room full of carts you can borrow to lug things around if you'd like. Utilities are included, so heat, air conditioning, trash and snow removal, electricity. Wi-Fi is now included. Every apartment gets their own Wi-Fi code. Phone and cable would be on you if you wish to hire Comcast and bring that in. I think we're working on a group rate for cable, but winter car service. So you give us a copy of your car key when you move in. And when there's 2 inches or more of snow on the ground at the end of the storm, the guys go out, they clean up all the cars, start them, move them for the plow trucks, and then put them back in the same parking lot. And there's 4 or 5 different parking areas here on campus.
I'm very envious of that feature.
That's a great feature. There's also some carports that are $50 a month, but the free service is wonderful. Residents love it.
And you may not need the carport because of that service. It's
right,
really well
right. Other benefits: enhanced living for hire. Our wellness clinic, we have a free nurse practitioner 5 days a week in independent living who oversees enhanced living staff. They can be hired by the hour or half hour actually to add care in place in independent living. If your goal is to stay independent longer, they can help keep you safer longer. That's a great feature here. VNA, visiting nurses. Available on site, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, all on an outpatient basis, but they have an office in the building. It's super convenient. Both hospitals offer lab work every week in the building. You need a doctor's referral for that. We have blood pressure checks. Rite Aid does 1 or 2 of the Rite Aids do deliver for free. Others also deliver. Wellness clinic on site with a nurse, as I said. She's terrific, part of a care coordination team that really helps manage your needs for the rest of your life. Pendant alarms, safety monitoring system, pull cords in the bathrooms, benevolence clause. So if you move in and outlive your assets over time, you can apply for benevolence, and it's a confidential process, and we would subsidize your monthly fee so that you don't have to move out at a point where change is really challenging and difficult. So it's a special clause in our contract that allows you to do that. So how do I qualify? We have a financial application called a confidential data profile, or a CDP. And basically it's your age, assets, income, debt, long-term care insurance. Is it a lifetime policy? Is it not? What does it cover? You need a summary sheet for that from your long-term care company. And then the financial actuarial software, because we're an insurance product, spits out an answer: what you can afford, what you can't. Medically, so you would meet with our nurse practitioner. She would do review your health form that you submit and do an in-person assessment, cognitive balance, things like that. Just looking to make sure you're safe enough to live independently for 2 years or more. Once approved financially and medically, we offer you your desired apartment, and you would put a 10% entrance fee deposit down on the apartment you desire within 3 days of the apartment offer. And then it gives you time, you close within 60 days of the apartment offer, and closing is really just signing the contract, paying the balance of the entrance fee due. But when you make the deposit, we give you a copy of the contract to review, and we can always meet and answer any questions. It's financial, it's the nuts and bolts of your contract here. The monthly fees start on your closing date. Move-in timing's up to you. Some move in when they close, some wait a couple of months. They start paying the monthly fees but aren't here yet. May take a no meal plan for a couple of months, but everyone's a little different. And basically you start loving the lifestyle and leaving the workload up to the staff, who are fantastic.
Yeah. Julie, do you want to say a little bit about the interaction between residents and staff here?
Yeah, I would say it's really everybody pulls together And, when I see housekeeping staff in the hallway, I'll stop for a moment and chat. I know a lot of the maintenance people in environmental services division, they're real nice. I would say that people really care about one another, whether you're a resident or an employee. Everyone's just so nice. I'm just so happy I moved here. I have absolutely no regrets. It's a safe, secure, fun place. It's wonderful.
I would like to add, we have a person who started working here part-time 22 years ago to pay off a credit card. And she is still here. She's amazing. There's some 10, 15-year nurses. There's people in dining over at the lodge who've been here for over 20 years. Lots of long-term staff still, even though we've had transitions, certainly since I've been here, but good transitions and some great staff who've been here for a long time and love what they do. So this is some of our newer residents actually that moved in the last year or two, I think, and it's a fire pit. Both of our terraces on the campus have fire pits, and staff are known once in a blue moon to bring out some marshmallows and graham crackers and Hershey's chocolate bars so people can make s'mores. But there's also some newly built stone wall planters that are going out on the independent side shortly off the dining room. So they'll have beautiful flowers and seasonal. And those terraces are a great place to hang out or dine. They have heaters in the winter or spring and fall, I should say, and a canopy, and it's just a great place, great space. And look who this is. Miss Julie on her bicycle.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So I would say is anyone out there listening, please either take a virtual tour or come visit us in person. Every single one of the pictures of the residents you saw are real people. They're not actors. They really do live here. I was shocked when I first toured and I met one of the person who is very active at the Nature Conservancy, and I couldn't believe it. He's a real person and he really lives here.
He's a remarkable person.
Yes, he is.
Yep. Yeah, he actually goes off trail. So the 3 miles of trails are right down the road. But he takes people off trail in through the woods and can show you like these magical places with 16 heron nests and, all these really cool things that are right across from our main entrance. So
it's a black walnut tree.
Yes, right. There's a lot of really neat stuff in there. But basically, what is your plan? You want to choose a plan. Wait lists are here, and we have wait lists on. Well, we have one apartment left available right now, and people are joining the wait list quickly for cottages and apartments. So what you want to do is make a plan, make sure you tour communities, get the information, get the pricing. If you need to, ask for the contracts, but start now. Don't wait. People are moving in younger, like Julie. They're riding bikes, jogging the campus, kayaking, doing these things. They could be here for 30 years. So future wait lists will probably be longer. And there's so many baby boomers that are doing this. So now's the time to make a plan, choose your change, figure out where you want to be. If it's us, we're thrilled. That's awesome. And we'll be happy to help you with the process, application to move in and beyond. So I think, Katie, I think we're going to open it up to questions.
We are. I just wanted to add that, Jen and my role is really to be an advisor. The decision is absolutely yours. Mm-hmm. We're just here to make sure that you will feel confident and comfortable in that decision. We want you to have your questions answered. We want you to view this place as your future home. And so there's a lot that goes towards it. So whatever we can do to help, let us know. And we're more than happy to spend time with you, go over things again, retour areas, we're here to help.
We also have some online events and some in-house events on occasion also. And sometimes it takes 2 tours, sometimes it takes 5, sometimes it's a couple of years. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different level of interest, and some are ready sooner than others, and we know that. So very respectful of that.
So yes, we do have some questions already typed in our question and answer box, but if anyone has a question that they haven't written down yet, now is the time to do so. Feel free to find that Q&A box at the bottom or top of your screen, depending on what device you're using. Type it in and we'll start going through them. So let's answer some of the ones that are already written while other people write theirs in. One question that actually occurred another time is, if my partner needs to be moved to assisted living, do I join him or am I moved to another location? Sorry.
I guess that's me. So yeah, I mean, I've seen both. So typically the independent person stays in independent living and you drop the second person monthly fee in independent living, and the person needing assisted living would move to a studio or one bedroom studio suite over in assisted living, and they would pay the first person there. We have had some people that moved in, both of them moved to assisted living. You know, some have been in studios side by side. So there's been a lot of different scenarios. I think in general, people who are independent, staying independent, healthcare is right down the hall. It's so close. It's all under the same roof. It's take you 2 minutes to get there, and it's really easy to visit, and people thrive at whatever level they're at. And I think that's why that's the best scenario, but it has been done both ways.
All right, next question. Once on the waiting list, about how long to get an apartment?
Well, I think we have applications for our last available apartment right now, which is a cedar. You know, it's hard to say. It could be 6 months, it could be 2 years, it could be more for the larger apartments. We don't have a lot of really large apartments here. We have more of the medium size and smaller ones. So it could be years if it's one of the larger 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. So the time to join a wait list is now, definitely. We've been under renovation and haven't had a wait list for a while, and we've just been building the wait list over the last year. So, you know, we're going to have to see, but with people moving in younger, they're going to be here longer, and you got to kind of plan for that.
So what are your current discounted rates for assisted living, memory support, and nursing support? So my recommendation would be to request an information packet, just because the rates change every year. So, you know, if that's something you want to take a look at, just let us know. You can either email us directly after the webinar, or go to our website and click request an information packet, and we can mail it to you. We can email it to you, whatever's preferable, and that will give you details. It will go into more depth about everything the community has to offer.
And it shows the discounted rates.
Correct.
Yeah, for each level.
What is the wait time for a cottage? Are the new ones already spoken for?
We do have deposits on the first 18 cottages. We actually sold out in 8 days, and we are building the wait list now for those cottages. So if you're interested in that, we can do a virtual tour, an on-site visit of the community, and we have some virtual tours of the new cottages, which are absolutely beautiful. And we'll be happy to work with you, discuss the wait list and what that entails.
Are there plans to have an indoor pool at some point?
Not an indoor pool. Our residents here go to the area YMCA. There's one in Manchester, there's one in Goffstown. The Allard Center there is fabulous. People love it. And a couple different options. Rumor has it we may be getting a fitness, what would you call it, Katie? Thank you. Like a one-person therapy pool with a treadmill on the bottom and different options and things. So we expect that in spring. We're part of a pilot program for that, actually, and it's really neat. Size of the cottages looks like is the next question. So the cottages are about 1,350 square feet or 1,650 square feet. They're both 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. The larger one also has a den and a little sunroom area, and they have a little terrace. Vaulted ceilings in the living room, kitchen, huge fireplace. Just a lovely space, and great living space. Garages are big, and they're just, you know, in a lovely area. So
Yeah. And so, you know, we recommend if you want to talk about the new cottages coming to Manchester, you know, let us know. We have some renderings we can share with you. We can compare between our current cottages and the new ones. So something we did was we actually surveyed the residents who live in our current cottages and asked what worked, what didn't work, what would you recommend for this new construction, and tried to accommodate as many of those requests as possible. So these new ones are even better, but our current cottages are just as phenomenal too. So you actually have some options. But I think that's all the questions we have, unless one comes in at the last second. So I just wanted to say thank you for attending the Lunch and Learn. I hope this has been helpful to you in your search and getting to know more about the RiverWoods community. You know, if you want to keep pursuing this, you know, come by for a tour or get an information packet. Let us know. We're here to help. You know, we want to be able to provide answers and direction because it's a big decision, you know, and there's a lot to talk about. So what better opportunity than to start talking now?
We might just run into Julie in the hall.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
And a lot of other people that are really interesting and fun. So we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julie. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we look forward to hearing from all of you.
Right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, Julie.